training the right way. And trust me, there's a wrong one, but I don't want to lead you down that path, brother, my brother in Christ, okay? Months ago, maybe even years ago, a good friend of mine, John Likens of AA Moving, I would say probably deserves even another A in that name, triple A, quadruple A. Because you know what? When you're already at the top, you already have these accolades. A+, right? It's basically A++ moving. What a legend. Got me all my feelings. Damn. John asked me a couple months ago, like I said, maybe even a year ago. And by the way, I'm not rambling. This is just my communication style. So it's my love language. So consider that. And don't be a bigot. He asked me the other day, he said, Harry, bud, how can I perfect my training? I said, John, what are you talking about? Your training's already pitch perfect. He said, no. He said, I need help with goals and training. He did like that with kind of an Italian gesture. He might have even said it with an Italian accent. I can't recall. I'm not going to make fun of Italian people here. I don't want to get canceled. And I told him, I said, John, I'm going to reflect on this in my basement months down the road, years down the road, because I need to find the answers. Answers just don't come out of the ether, right? It's not, angels aren't magical fairies. You know, it requires a great deal of dedication and thought. And finally, I've realized what is the solution to training better, faster, stronger. Kind of, I don't want to bring up Kanye West. It's 2024. Can't get into that right now. Better, faster, stronger, okay? And I realize it's all about training with a purpose. And I'm trying to keep this going so maybe I don't even talk about those things until 5 minutes into this video. This is just the setup. Like I said, my communication style. So I was thinking about it, brainstorming. I spent many a sleepless night, many a sleepless day, reflecting on this, looking for the answers, meditating on sacred scriptures, okay? Consulting with apocryphal texts. You don't find the answers just under your pillow at night. They're not delivered by the tooth fairy, okay? No. You need to basically isolate yourself for months, not speaking to a single soul. And it wasn't until 6 months into this, seeking for the answers to John's question, that I had a vision. You could say it was maybe a spiritual experience, sure. If you want to call it that, yeah, call a spade a spade. It was a spiritual experience. And it was down here in the basement, working out. And in this, I can't remember what I was talking about. Yes, how to train. Well, I realized in this spiritual experience I had, this dream vision, fever dream, maybe. Don't want to get into it. That's private. Training with a purpose. And I realized that a lot of people train with ridiculous goals in mind. Oh, I want to be fit. Okay. I want to be strong. Get in line, buddy. I want to have a beach bod. Oh yeah, sure. Stop wasting your time training for the wrong reasons. By the way, those are all the wrong reasons to train. I want to snatch 225 pounds. Yeah, whatever. That's the dumbest thing. We're all less intelligent from having me even uttered that. And then it struck me. Then it was like a thunderclap, like a burning bush. And I realized it was train for life, whatever life throws at you. But then I realized that that's not specific enough. You need to be specific in your training, okay? Training for, quote, life. What do you mean? The board game? Don't think so, bud. We need to be more specific. So yes, you need to orient your training about being ready for whatever life throws at you, but let's be more specific. And I'll tell you what you need to be looking at here. You need to be training. And this is what struck me in this vision, but I think it actually kind of encapsulates really anything that life could throw at you. I just want you to take this as an example, okay? For 5 minutes, I can start kind of unloading now. Let's say, for instance, that you are involved in a semi-serious ATV accident. We've all been there at some time or another. We've all been there. We've all had, that's, people talk about their cross to bear. We all have our semi-deadly ATV accident to carry with us, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And I just realized that sums up what life throws at you. And oftentimes it's an ATV accident, okay? I'm talking whiplash, painful whiplash. Concussion? You ever had post-concussion syndrome? Let me tell you, it's not fun. I spent about a year of my life after a traffic accident wandering around a blackberry patch. It's nothing to joke about, okay? So that's when I realized you need to be training. Train for how are you going to best survive an ATV accident. And I have a couple of different things. I'll actually get out my notes here, which I prepared. Definitely, this wasn't just me taking a break from doing weightlifting down here. No. How could you even suggest that? So a couple things. If you're training, remember the ATV accident. It's like the holy grail. It's like what you want to avoid. You don't want that. But it's like the holy grail as far as like, that's what I'm training to avoid. So I'm going to break down some exercises for you, okay? Maybe get out a pencil or pen. Get out a writing utensil and a Scranton sheet. Scranton? Why are you laughing? That's nothing to laugh at. That's very serious. There might be a test on this later. So focusing on these three, I like to do things in groups of three. It kind of like based on angel numbers, etc. So I'm gonna give you the 3 by 3 by 3. That's the angel number for avoiding an ATV accident. So the 3 categories you want to train. You want to train core, head, calves. Jot that down. So those are the 3 things you need to train to avoid an ATV accident, which if you do that, that's essentially the holy grail of things to avoid. If you can do this and train in preparation for that, you don't need to do anything else. You're basically whoever, insert weightlifter name there. Okay. So let's talk about training core. I'm going to give you 3 exercises. That's why it's called the 3 by 3 by 3 method for avoiding an ATV accident. The reason I chose 3 and not 4, guess how many wheels an ATV has? 4. No thanks. I'm not about to set myself up psychologically thinking about the number 4. 4 ATV. Oh, I'm going to get on an ATV. I'm going to go 44 miles per hour. No. Think in terms of 3s or 5s, odd numbers only. I'm really sounding like a crazy person in this video. I need to tone it down. Okay. Core, 3 exercises. Medicine ball throws. Reversed. You might be saying, Harry, what do you mean a reversed medicine ball throw? Well, guys, if you're training to avoid whiplash in an ATV accident, you need to get yourself a partner. And I'm not talking about some kind of 90-pound weakling you find off the streets, some gym newbie. You need to find yourself a workhorse of a human being. And you need to train with your partner, because what they're going to do is they're going to throw a medicine ball directly into your abdomen. Sorry, I just remembered a funny joke. Don't worry about it. Medicine ball throw. I'm talking about just like full bam. Now, if you can learn to withstand that amount of torque, that amount of velocity from a medicine ball, you want to gradually go up, progressive overload. Rome wasn't built in a day, bud. You want to progressively overload that. So I'm talking about starting starting small, 65 pounds, something like that. Just thrown directly at you, okay, into your abdomen. Now, yeah, you need to brace just progressively. If you can survive that, you're going to be fine on an ATV accident. Okay. Second core activity you need to be like serious about, okay? Not a laughing matter. Think about what happens to your body when you are launched from an ATV, okay? There is impact, okay? It's like a Newtonian law, okay? This stuff is scientific. This is science-based. This is data-driven. Okay, so you need to train yourself. Or okay, I'm falling. Bam! I hit an ATV or a tree, and I'm in free fall. Maybe I forgot a helmet. I don't know. You need to train running full force into a brick wall. And I know you might be thinking to yourself, Harry, that sounds crazy. Why would you recommend somebody run full force into a brick wall? If you can learn to withstand that, you're going to move mountains, bud, okay? And you certainly won't be having any kind of issues with ATV accidents. Full force. Start progressively. Start run 5 feet into the wall, okay? Bam! Then maybe the next week, if you have time to recover, run 10 feet into the wall. Boom! 15 feet. Bam! You're going to get to the point where you're going to be like Usain Bolt, running a 40-meter dash directly into a concrete slab of stone, and it's not even going to phase you. Get real. That's number 2. Number 3. Don't worry, we're almost a third done with this. Don't worry about it. Number 3. Trace, if you want to call it that. Still with core. Your body, what happens, I've seen this happen countless times with ATV accidents, and that's what we're training to avoid. Remember that. You're going to want, I've seen this happen countless times, where your body's essentially crumpled, okay? Your body's crumpled in an unnatural way. Because maybe the ATV lands on top of you. Maybe 2 ATVs land on top of you. Maybe, who knows? But it will happen, okay? And you got to be ready for that stuff, man. So what you want to do, you want to get in a leg press, okay? Or and this is controversial, Smith machine, okay? Load that sucker up. Go get on your phone, Google, what is the average weight of an ATV, okay? Load it up. Load it up. If you don't have enough weight, have a couple friends. Stand on top of the leg press machine. Now, what I want you to do is you're going to get in there sitting as if you're in an ATV, okay? Helmet on, obviously, safety first. And then have one of your buddies just take off the safety of the ATV and let that come crashing down to your body, okay? Now, guys, you have to be careful with that, okay? You have to be careful with, having 1,000 pounds plus fall on your body. But that's going to get you to where you need to be. I'm going to save the other part, which I definitely have notes on. Just think head and calves. So you're kind of getting into 3x3x1 here. But I'll come back and we'll talk more about it. God bless.